Hello, hello. This is Outta Curiosity with Mz.ChiGurl, and I'm your host, Mz.ChiGurl. Hi, everybody. I am doing this video because I wanted to do a correction. The video I did with Angelique was talking about the impact of the media on perceptions of Black women's financial independence. And so I want to change that because there was a point where Angelique and I were talking about two different things, and I didn't find out until after we got off of the episode that it was different. I was talking about living trust or irrevocable trust, but Angelique was talking about land trust. And there was a point in the video where she was talking about how it's cheaper. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's real cheap. You got to talk, girl. And so the reason why is because she was talking about a land trust, which only handles real estate. Whereas I was talking about a living will that talks about all your financial instruments and how to having someone else manage it on your behalf so that you don't have to deal with probate court is the main reason to do the trust. And so it was funny. I wanted to talk about this, but I felt like it was going to be too preachy to you guys. I'm not trying to preach to you guys at all. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Like Angelique and I talked about, I'm only going off of advice that was shared with me, either through my mom or things that I learned while I was working in the corporate world. And so, one of the things that I did learn about when I was in the corporate world is about borrowing against your 401k. And some people say that it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. And so it was funny because you guys know I watch other commentators. One of the people that I watch is Funky Dineva or Quentin Latham. And it was so funny that the other night he actually talked about this. And so I'm going to play a snippet of his video talking about 401ks because he has a degree in economics. And so he is more qualified to talk about certain financial things than I am. And so I'm going to let you guys hear this, not trying to put anybody down or be preachy with people. I just want us women, Black women, to have the financial literacy to take care of ourselves, whether we have a man or not. Even if you have a man who is taking care of you, how can I put it? I don't want to say anything disparaging towards anybody's relationship and or marriage, but everything is not promised, is all I can say. And so he may be there to continue to support you, but he could pass away. It doesn't even have to be that you guys get divorced. If he passed away, what would you do? And so I just want you to have the knowledge to try and make decisions that can better your life instead of them falling apart. So now I'm going to share my screen and show you the snippet of Funky Dineva's commentary on 401ks and borrowing from them. And I'm playing this under the 1976 Fair, what is it called? Fair content use. I'm sharing this for entertainment purposes, not educational purposes. And so just watch and listen.
So I want to talk financial literacy really quickly before we get into the topics. All righty. And I want to talk about credit card debt really quickly. I just had to consult with two people very close to me today. Across the last couple of days about credit card debt. in addition to me paying $30,000 in credit cards off today. Today I paid $30,000 in credit cards. And so here's what I want to say to you guys, because here's the advice that I had to share with two people very close to me. If you are sitting up on a lot of credit card debt and you have money in your 401k, you need to take a loan from your 401k and you need to pay off them credit cards, okay? On average, credit card interest rates, 20 to 26% or whatever. And here is the beautiful thing. You can take a loan against your 401k for up to XYZ amount of dollars without any penalty, without any tax penalty. And you have 5 years to repay the loan to yourself plus the interest, okay? And typically the interest is somewhere around 7%. So somebody said, wow, 30,000 in credit card debt. Not that it's in y'all business, but I spend about $15, $17, $18, $20,000 a month on my American Express card. So 30,000 really is kind of like a month for me, but I'm working to get that down and stop spending so much money. Nevertheless, paid it all off. But anyway, if you are sitting up on a lot of credit card debt, okay, and you're making your minimum payment or you are making $100 over the payment, you're never going to get out of that debt because the interest is eating it up. And that interest on that debt is growing faster than that money that's sitting in that 401k. If that money is just sitting in that 401k or that retirement account, take that money out of there, pay them damn credit cards off. But here is the kicker. Cut them shits up and don't run them up again. Now, if you run them up again, you just a damn fool. If you run them credit cards up again, you are just a damn fool. But do not say that we ain't never told you nothing over here on the Funky Dineva show.
But yeah, so that was something I wanted to share with you, as well as I wanted to tell you guys that I keep talking about how blessed I am and everything, but being blessed also means making smart decisions too. And so, although I was blessed enough to get a severance package, and I had unemployment, which I'm not getting anymore, um, I have an addiction problem. I have an addiction problem where I will eat, shop, or drink to deal with stressors in my life. So one of the things that I did recently, because I think you guys have heard me talking about this, is dealing with some of the things with my mother has been stressful. She has her good days and her bad days, and so for about a week or two, she had some bad days, and during that time period, it really upset me, and so I went to shopping. Well, that shopping hurt me financially. And I had to, I really overspent. Bought something that an unemployed person shouldn't be buying. Well, not just something, maybe a few things that an unemployed person shouldn't be buying. Like they say, don't buy it if you don't have the money to buy it. I guess my thing is I had the money, but it wasn't disposable because I'm living now on a fixed income, and I used my credit card to purchase the things. And then, like I told you, and like Funky just talked about, interest rates are in the 20%. They're between, you're good if you got a good 20 or 21% interest rate on your credit card, but they're more towards the higher end of 30%. And that's really bad, just so you know. But yeah, I'm not paying that much. I remember when credit card rates were 8, 9%, maybe 10%. And I think it's crazy that they're as high as they are now. Fast forward, I use my credit card and I pay it off at the end of the month. Well, dang it, the doggone payment came due, and I saw how much I spent on some ish. And what I tend to do too is, because I'm buying stuff online, if it's clothing, I'll try it on, and if it doesn't fit, then I'll return it. Or if I get something and it doesn't work, I return it. Or if it's not as I expected it, I return it. Because I was in this semi depression thing, because I'm worried about my mother and everything, I also didn't return things. And so I missed the deadline to return some things. And so now I got a bunch of ish that I don't want, that I gotta pay for, and that I didn't have disposable income to purchase in the first place. So my story is that I'm not broke, but I just, I had to delve into, so I set aside some money that's labeled "Do Not Touch." You know, you do not touch this money. And I had to touch that money because I was like, I don't see no other way out of this. It's either pay the interest on that ish, or pay it off, with the money that I wasn't supposed to touch. And so that's what I did, and that kind of made me feel bad, because I had to pay that credit card bill off. And so, yeah, um, I'm working on finding healthier ways to deal with the things that are going on with my mother. I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm not perfect. I'm not preaching to anybody. We all make mistakes. And I think maybe I did explain that, I'm fallible, I'm human. I explained to you guys how, I filed bankruptcy too. So I don't always make the best decisions. I do, like I said, it can be considered an addiction, or what's the other word? I can't think of it right now. That's that perimenopausal brain. But anyway, um, I do fall into the traps of leading with my emotions instead of using my brain. And so I just use these stories as what do they call them? Lessons to you, not to make the same mistakes that I did, and to make better decisions. And like I said, I'm not a married person, so I can't speak to that. But I don't know if I could put my 100% confidence into a man to manage, finances and stuff like that. Um, so I'm gonna have a fallback plan if that ever were to be a situation that I'm in. So that's my lesson for today. Thank you for joining me, and see you soon.